My name is Maggie Hadley, and I'm here with Ken Perine, the president of National Bank of Middlebury since 1992. During his time as president, he's expanded the once small bank into a 95-employee operation with $300 million in assets and locations in several towns. As he's grown his business, he has remained dedicated to the health of his community. He's served on countless nonprofit boards and has been involved in countless community initiatives. So, you've done a lot of work with affordable housing. The Vermont Housing Awareness Campaign quoted you, "No single factor is more responsible for the health of our cities, towns, and villages than housing." So why do you think affordable housing is such an important factor in lifting people out of poverty?
Well, Maggie, the first thing we have to do is to settle people's basic needs. And without good shelter, without warmth, and a safe place to reside, people aren't really thinking about anything more than those very basic needs. So we have to make sure we meet those needs and they have a good, stable place to learn and carry on family life. So many of the people that we have seen have been in problems and have had problems are living in homes that are poorly heated, that have some very basic necessities that they don't have, electricity, whatever. So creating an environment in which people can thrive and not worry about those very basic needs is terribly important.
Great. Okay, so you've lived in Middlebury almost your entire life. How have you seen affordable housing change in Addison County over the years?
So it's changed. I think it evolves like anything else. We have seen it a little bit harder more recently with new regulations coming from the federal government on how we can finance housing and how we underwrite loans to make sure that we're getting proper people in the places they need to be. So that has made it more challenging. I think the key to dealing with the changes in the landscape for affordable housing really is about trying new things. And there have been a number of products that have been tried over the years to help people get into homes. First, down payment assistance, so you can get with smaller down payments, because that can be a really significant barrier to people getting into a home from a home ownership standpoint. And so there have been shared equity formulas that have been created where an organization will buy a piece of property, buy the land, lease the land back, so the actual purchase price is only for the house, and that lowers that purchase price. That has not worked terribly well here in Addison County. Has worked much better up in Burlington. So there are different ways of skinning that cat. On the rental side, I think the rental side's been fairly robust. And we have created a lot of good rental opportunities here through using the low-income housing tax credit, which is a federal tax credit. And then we have mobile home ownership. And that is probably the most challenging today because financing that is available for those has really dried up. So we are really looking at innovative ways of helping people to get into mobile homes and then improving some of that stock, because some of those homes are very dated, fire traps, and but it's all these people, some people can afford. So we are trying to create opportunities to improve that stock and still keep it affordable for the people for whom that housing is important.
Can you describe your work with the Vermont Housing Conservation Board?
VHCB, as I'll call it, as the acronym, is a great organization. It's been in existence for about 25 years. And the unique thing about VHCB is that it has a dual mission, both for land conservation and for affordable housing. And at the time that it was born, these two goals were not seen to mesh. It was seen that if you were preserving land, there would not be land available for building housing. And if you wanted to build housing, you wouldn't be looking at conserving land. Well, we have found with the VHCB that it has been the exact opposite. It's been a tremendous partnership. It has allowed us to really focus on the holistic view of the community. and that it has many needs, and just one cure doesn't solve everything. So we have had projects where there's been a component of the project that is affordable housing and a component that is land conservation. And it has become much more accepted by developers and the community at large that this is the right way to go. So it's been a fabulous program. It also has helped to preserve ag resources. Arable land that may go fallow right now, but there may be a new use for that land in the future. We don't know. We're preserving that resource, that agriculture, that good soil for future generations, and I think that's important. And then the last piece, and I've mentioned a little bit with VHCB, is they have developed this notion of looking at a community and trying to do what's best for the community, and it can if it doesn't fit the housing, doesn't fit land conservation, doesn't fit ag, it may be a community resource that needs to be preserved, such as a meeting house. And when I was on the board, we did a number of projects in small communities where we provided funds and assistance to, and it's really basically seed money. That money can then be leveraged with other funds to make these projects happen, but sometimes it's outright grants for the entire project. But it allows, they've been able to develop these community centers that are really the heart and soul of the community. It's a place where people gather to talk about problems in the community. It's a place where people have town meeting, and it just becomes a real resource and focal area for that community. So VHCB has, well, we talked about affordable housing changing. VHCB has changed a little bit its focus over the years and become a little bit more holistic in its view of its mission, and it's just a tremendously effective organization. And the reason it is even more effective is that it partners with local organizations throughout the state. So it doesn't dream up the projects and say, sitting here in Montpelier, we need a project in Barton, or we need a project in Middlesex, or we need a project in Wallingford. It will actually go out and canvass the particular small nonprofits that exist in all of these, in the counties around the state, and say, what are your needs in your communities? What do you have for a need? Bring a project forward, and we'll look hard at it. So it allows a sort of a grassroots effort to bring the projects to bear, and then it hopes it underwrites them very carefully so that there's a good deal of success. But then it creates a huge investment opportunity and leverages the funds of VHCB to get more money on the table, and so we can really do some decent deals. And so VHCB has created particular affordable rental housing, land conservation, preserve some ag land, but has worked into programs as well. There's some veterans programs that have been facilitated by VHCB. It's just a wonderful organization.
What do you think is the most successful way for private businesses to help increase the availability of affordable housing, or to otherwise alleviate poverty?
Well, I would say we have a saying here at the bank that what's good for our customer is good for the bank. And I think if most businesses look at it that way and say, if we can improve life for our customers, that's going to make our customers value us more as a resource. So how does that translate into action? When a business takes care of its employees are then going out into the community and doing things. So I think as a business, one thing a business can do is have good benefits for its employees. It can encourage its employees to go out in the community and volunteer at different projects. We have a favorite one here where we do a Jeans Day on Friday, and Our employees have to pay $3 to wear the jeans, and it goes to a nonprofit of someone's choosing. So it's a nice way of supporting groups that where the bank isn't actually looking out of its pocket, but it is facilitating charitable giving to those organizations. And then supporting some of the more institutional programs like United Way, running a good campaign, providing a corporate gift, being involved in the local discussions about the needs and wants of the community. Those are tangible things that a business can do to make sure that the community it's living in is vibrant. If the community it's living in is vibrant, the company will do well.
Can you talk a little bit about your view on socially responsible investing as a trend and in practice?
So socially responsible investing is, for me, a misnomer. And well, I don't like the phrase. It's a catchword. It seems a little trite today. And I say everything that a small community bank does is all about investing in our community, or we wouldn't exist. So as I've said often, it's about what we do every day. But it's important whenever we make a decision about what we're investing in, be it a business or an individual investment, that we understand that there's more to the picture than just the return we're getting. We are actually facilitating something else happening, and so there are good consequences and sometimes bad consequences to that. So when you are investing in a particular business that's starting up in your community, if they have particular policies that are not very beneficial to their employees, that's perhaps not a business that you would really want to be backing or helping, and so that becomes a problem. And I think we have to sometimes peel the onion back a little bit and understand what exactly is that company doing that we're investing in? What is that project that we're investing in really doing for the community? And if there aren't good consequences down the road there, then we may want to think twice about investing. So socially responsible investing for me means looking deeper into a project or a company that you're investing in, and making sure that it has been its projects or its program has been well thought out and will really have a good and positive impact on your community and the people living in it.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me and answer these questions. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing? Or?
No, thank you, Maggie, for the opportunity.